What's going on, people? It is Irish Connor HD here. You can call me Irish, and today I thought I would talk a little bit about the Fine Brothers. I'm sort of a fan of the Fine Brothers series. The kind of the React videos at the time when they first started coming out, they were new and interesting, and it was funny to see. Like, I think the one that stands out the most to me was the Elders React to Dubstep about like 2011, 2012, whenever they brought that video out. I remember seeing that and showing it to my friends and thinking it was hilarious. Like, oh, well and good. Basically, if you don't know, I'll give you the quick recap. The Fine Brothers are basically the YouTube channel, the two guys that are behind the whole React series. Again, if you don't know what that is, it's basically a format where they play something, whether it's dubstep, for example, or I don't know, just using, for example, Lionel Messi's greatest talent, skills, showreel, or something along those lines. Basically, there's a subject video that they sit down a group of, whether it's elders, teens, kids, YouTubers. I'm not sure what other ones they've done, but you've got the gist. They get a kind of demographic together, sit them down and watch these videos that might be kind of weird to the demographic, if that makes any sense. Basically, that's what the React series is. Basically, what's come out, if you didn't know, is that the Fine Brothers have made, and like, are basically, they're doing a thing called React World, which is basically, if you want to do React videos of it within this style, with this team, with the kind of official React branding, you have to go through them, basically. So they've kind of, I don't know if they've copyrighted it or they trademarked it. I think they trademarked it, the kind of the idea of their series. And there was uproar, like on Reddit. There was like massive, like kind of a big thread, and like kind of like they're deleting comments, they're going back and changing their description for their video and all that kind of thing. And like the comments were all filled with kind of this, that, and the other, what you might expect from a kind of a sort of a witch hunt. But I thought I would bring some kind of a little bit of my own perspective into it, because it's strangely a little bit relevant to me. If you're a new subscriber and you're not really around from the days when I was doing Forza 4 a lot, Forza Motorsport 4 on the Xbox 360, if you aren't from around that time, I ran into a similar issue. Basically, I had a series that I did a lot, and I still in the back of my head always think about doing again. But it was basically called Will It Drift. I took I had a format laid out where I took a car, I started it from stock, drifted it, saw how it would drift. Sorry, then modified it to the parts that I thought, like modified it with the parts that I thought would make it be able to drift, and then I fully built it into a full kind of like competition spec race, drift car, basically. And there was all kind of other things that were specific to that series, about like cameras and intros and kind of that kind of thing. But basically, I ran into a situation where there was another fellow Forza YouTuber. I'm not going to go into that whole thing again. It was a whole big thing back then. But there was another fellow Forza YouTuber who, in my opinion, had to have known about it. There was no other way about it. Like, he had to have known that Will It Drift existed. Basically, he started up a channel or a series on his thing called Will It Drift. And that kind of like sent me the wrong way, or like kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and we went into this big thing, and eventually he stopped doing it. But that's kind of my experience on the whole kind of idea of formats and having people kind of step in on you. So that's where my experience with this is coming from. So basically, I wanted to do this video because I think that this isn't like that. What people think is happening with this video is that the Fine Brothers have put some kind of copyright or trademark on reaction videos full stop. It's not that, which isn't the case. It's not the case whatsoever. And it took me a few watches of the video that they made, which I'll leave a link to in the description, or like an annotation or something like that. And it took me like a while of reading around and kind of getting the proper info, basically. If you are somebody that's kind of highly worried about this idea, or like if you're somebody who makes reaction videos or something like that, don't worry. Like, do not worry. It's fine. They're not coming for you. Like, this isn't the end of everybody else doing React videos. Basically, what they are doing with this is that if you want to make your own kids react, elders react, YouTubers react, teens react, whatever it may be, if you want to do that, you have to go through them, basically. So you can't create your own kids react, or teens react, or whatever, for like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just blatantly just like make a series called Kids React. If you want to do that, you actually can, technically, but you have to go through them and kind of get their permission and share the royalties and stuff like that with them, which is fair enough in my opinion. what people think, again, as I said, what people think is happening is that if you want to make a reaction video, if you want to make a video where you sit down your parents and show them, I don't know, the big reveal or like the big scene at the end of like one of the big movies or something like that, and catch their reaction, people are like actually genuinely believing that this is the case. That, oh my god, if I do this, are the Fine brothers going to come after me? No, it's absolutely not the case. This is why I don't think it's a big deal. I don't see the problem. It's become this big massive thing. Their video has like 58,000 dislikes, and I don't personally understand it. Like, it's literally just them looking after their thing. Maybe I'm a bit biased because I had a thing that people came after and I protected it. So I get like, maybe I'm thinking that it's kind of along the same lines. But basically it's not actually that big of a deal. The only thing that I will say is that people that maybe understand that, and I would probably put myself into this boat as well, to be fair. The thing that people are probably still having a problem with, even if they do understand that concept of that it's not for every reaction video, it's just for these, it's the idea of kind of like, maybe some people are against the idea of kind of trademarking generally vague things. And that's kind of, I guess, the problem as well. Like, they say things like, oh, we're trademarking the format, we're trademarking, like, trademarking the title is pretty solid. That's one of the big things that I had the problem with the guy was he literally called his video series Will It Drift, and it rubbed me the wrong way. Like, it just made me feel like he thought he could take the video series because he was a bigger YouTuber than me. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Maybe like you can. I don't think there's any. Most people would have a problem with trademarking a video series title, like name or something like that. Whether it's something like Ray William Johnson's Equals 3, or I don't know what other major kind of like, I don't know, Rival X Factor's Battlefields, or like even me with my old Forza drifting things calling them Will It Drift or The Road Less Travel or something like that. I think you could make a case for kind of setting down some rules on that. People can't just straight up copy the title. But I think a lot of people get rubbed the wrong way about the formula a little bit, because with their series, it is kind of literally just sitting people down at a desk, like a nice colourful background, colourful desk and laptop and stuff like that in front of them, and like basically cutting between the footage and then the reactions to the people and the stuff that they have to say. But even so, that the way they do it is so specifically them that if you see a video like that, you're probably immediately going to think of the React series. It is, to me at least, as just kind of an average guy, that's where I would go if I saw a video that was that same sort of setup, like sat down at a table, perfect lighting, like studio lighting, at a big colourful background and stuff like that, with the name of the interviewee or what they are, or their age or something like that flashing up on the screen. I would personally, immediately think of the React Brothers. It was the same way with me. Like, I think that, I personally, again, it's my own personal bias, but I think that this is where it kind of gets murky, that a lot of people have a problem with it, because whereas they are kind of trademarking or copywriting, again, I can't remember which one it was, I think it was trademarking, that kind of format, and a lot of people are saying, well, how can you really copyright a format, because it's pretty easy to copy. Whereas with something like with my Will It Drift series, it was so clear. It was an intro view of the car, 3 runs, or sorry, what was it, 4 runs, I think, 2 going forward, 2 going backwards. No, sorry, 2 runs. 1 run going forwards on the section, 1 run going backwards. Then another camera view of the car in its semi-updated state, 1 run going forwards, 1 run going backwards. Third, then finally it'd be the full built car, like a little zooming in kind of view, and then 1 run going forwards, 1 run going backwards, and then at the end I'd give you my reaction, or my reaction. It's on my brain. My opinion basically, and then I'd flash up like yes, no, or maybe. So that's where I think a lot of the thing from people is coming from, where it's like formats are a little bit too kind of. They can be very vague, like especially with something like Reacts, where it's just, or reactions, where it's just pointing the camera at somebody and getting their reactions. So when it comes to this specific case, I would be one of the people that would be like, yeah, I agree that, or I disagree with the general angry reaction. I do think that fair enough, if you want to do it exactly like they do it and call it Teens React, you probably should be dealing with them in some way. You should be contacting the Fine Brothers in some way. Like, even if they didn't make this like a thing, you should still probably be hitting them up and just be like, I was thinking about doing this. Any chance it's okay? Like, something along those lines. But when it comes to the format and stuff like that, I do agree that it's kind of a grey area unless you have it really, really nailed down. I don't know if they have, because again, theirs wasn't there. It is kind of a little bit generic in the kind of, there's an intro, then they tell the people what they're gonna kind of, or like they introduce the people, or like they show their names up and stuff like that, and then they cut between the clips and reactions. This kind of thing is a very grey area, but I don't think overall. I say that I'm not saying anybody is saying that overall it's an issue, but I just, in my opinion, like overall, I don't think the idea of trademarking or kind of make it like protecting your own thing that you've come up with, because again, like it takes a long time, it takes like a lot of thought and effort into going into coming up with a thing, like it being a series, like a structure, or a kind of layout for your series and stuff like that, and a title. So I definitely think that there should be something. I don't know if it's trademarking or copywriting or whatever. Again, I don't have a legal mind. I haven't the first clue about this kind of thing. But I just thought I'd talk about it a little bit, because it is something that I have sort of got a foot in the door about. Like got a bit of a clue in my head, because I've dealt with something along these lines. And yeah, it was interesting to me. So if you enjoyed it, please do leave a thumbs up. Let me know your opinions. Obviously, like literally, this is a good discussion topic. What do you think? Let me know in the description, or in the comments. Sorry. Yeah, but yeah, if you enjoyed it, please do leave a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.